and this egg split, and okay, we tell them, okay, this is another story. Can you prove that this didn't happen? Well, no. We have well, okay. It's just a version amongst versions. You don't have any authentic sources, you just have stories. Every nation has its own stories. Islam has a message which is brought, and it has authentic scriptures which it's related to. It has a complete system and a way of life which is logical from beginning to end. It's not reasonable or acceptable in one area, and then you have a mass of unreasonability connected with it. The essence of what you have ended up with as a Buddhist is idol worship. You have idols. So I would try to look at their system as a whole. If this is from God, then what is it producing for man? How does it covers certain aspects in terms of the morals and so on and so, but what about the economic system and all the other things? It is not a comprehensive system. Where it tries to be comprehensive, it becomes man-made. Like in Nepal, they have a Buddhist, the only Buddhist state in the world, right? Or I guess maybe Hindu state, sorry. They have one Hindu state, and then in Sri Lanka you have the Buddhist state, right? Okay. So, the laws, where does this come from? You're taking it from here, there, some British law, some this law, that law, you sprinkle it all together, and you come up with the law. But what is this? It shows these are deficiencies in the system, where the Islamic system of laws is all revealed. It's not man-made again, where we start playing and this interest and that interest and the other interest. So I would tend to try to reach them from this point because, as I said, logically proving that we are not reborn, very difficult. We have another explanation as to what we observe.
On the question of rebirth, all the people are being reborn. The population should be static. There should not be an increase in population. 3 sides. So if you say 2 billion, you should remain 2 billion. All the next people are being born, reborn. So no new addition.
Yeah, this is one argument. Because if we say that, actually, if you go back in time, right, we see a decrease in the population heading towards a 0 point. As you say, if people are reborn, how can there be increase? This is one point I've mentioned before, but I never really tried it on them to see what their response is, right? They may have an explanation for it, huh? This is the one logical argument. Thank you for bringing it up, This is the one logical argument that I've tried to use before, in discussing in such circumstances. But I've never really actually sat down with a Buddhist and tried to use that argument on them to see really, do they have a response to that? Do they have an explanation for it? So if you have a Buddhist friend, perhaps you can try it out and see what they, then let me know, see how effective it is.
No, but they believe that they are born in other forms. That means some of the men are now snakes, some of them are ants, some of them are, alligators, or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is that, you see, no, I don't think this would solve it, because if you go back, just as men decreased in numbers, the animals are decreasing in numbers.
No, the number of insects are supposed to be going up. According to scientists, the number, the insect population is outnumbered human beings.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm just saying, if you go back in time, it was decreasing. So it meant that both man and insects increased. All of the creation, living beings, they're all increased. They've shown an increase over time, right? So how do you explain that increase if, in fact, they're just being reborn, right? So this is a valid question, but inshallah, maybe we should try it out and find out if they do have an answer for that. But in terms of course, the reason why there's poverty and there's richness or wealth in this world, we believe because Allah has chosen some people to be favored with wealth over others as a means of testing them. And that this is an essential difference that has to be there for the spiritual qualities of generosity and sympathy and kindness to develop. This is the circumstances that have to be there. You could say the field for those qualities, the higher human qualities to develop. So we see the need for it. Sister asking, one tries to convey the message of Allah, but he unfortunately cannot convince anybody, right? Is it proper then to argue, to try to convince people? And doesn't the Quran say that for you is your religion and for me is mine? Well, this verse of the Quran, has to be looked at within, particular context, Actually, this verse was revealed at a time in Mecca when the pagans offered to make a compromise with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said, okay, we'll accept your religion, but, on condition that, we'll worship Allah with you for 1 year, but the next year you have to worship the other gods along with us. We take turns, right? And, Allah told the Prophet ﷺ to tell them, for you your religion and for me mine. There's no way. We cannot make a compromise like that. The religion is clear. The religion of God is clear. It does not compromise with the religion of Satan. So we have a half religion. Cannot be. So, ultimately, in the end, if one tries one's best, one realizes in the end that still, I have to follow my way, and if you cannot understand or reason, well then you follow your way. I cannot force you to become a Muslim. But it is still my duty to convey the message to you. Whether you accept it or you don't, it's your choice. So if a person is not successful with one individual, they should not say, well, look, give up. For me, my religion, everybody else they meet after that is for me, my religion, you yours. No. Because our duty is a never-ending duty. Islam is not part-time. We do it today and we don't do it tomorrow. We do it at home, we don't do it at work. We do it on Friday, we don't do it during the rest of the week. No, it's not Islam. Islam is 24 hours a day. So whenever we have the opportunity to convey the message, we try to convey it. People don't want to accept it? Fine. You see, the thing is that guidance is not in our hands. As Allah says in the Quran, إِنَّكَ لَن تَهْدِي مَنْ أَحْبَبْتَ لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء. That you cannot guide those who you love or you wish to guide. Allah guides who He wishes. You may wish for that person guidance. You may convey that message to the person. But Allah guides who He pleases. If that person does not want the message, they have other concerns or whatever, then they will not be guided. Because Allah guides those who are seeking guidance. Because when Allah says He guides who He wishes, it doesn't mean an arbitrary kind of situation, where we have evil livers, evil individuals who Allah says, okay, I wish these to be guided, and He guides them. And you have good, nice, righteous people who are seeking to be guided. Allah says, I don't want to guide these people. They're not guided. No. This is not Allah. This is not justice. Allah says He does not love the oppressors, the evil. He does not guide those who don't wish guidance. He guides those who are good and who seek good.